Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Is your Mac's menu bar missing? Let me show you why and how to get it back. So you may notice that sometimes your Mac's menu bar goes missing. This is due to a setting that you've got, but there's a variety of other reasons as well. For instance, let's take a look here at what happens when I use Pages and then go to full screen mode. That's by clicking this green button here or using View, Enter Full Screen. Either one of these will take Pages to full screen mode, and notice the menu bar at the top is now gone. How do you access the commands that you need in the menu bar? Well, first you should know it's not really gone. It's still there. It just is hidden until you move your pointer to the top of the screen. And then you can see it drops down. Then you can access it just like you do normally. Now, typically, this doesn't pose any problem because you need to move your pointer up there anyway to use it. So having to move it up there to be able to see it really isn't creating any extra actions that you need to do. But some people like to have it present at all times anyway. By default, when you're in a full screen app, like here in Pages or any app, when you take it full screen, the menu bar is hidden. And then when you are in regular window mode, the menu bar is present. If you look in Mission Control, I'm going to use Control up arrow to bring up Mission Control. You can see I've got two spaces here, a desktop space and a full screen space. By default, anytime you're in a desktop space, the menu bar is visible. And anytime that you're in a full screen window space, the menu bar is hidden and will only be revealed when you bring your pointer to the top. But you can actually make it visible when apps are in full screen mode. All you need to do is go into System Settings and then go to Menu Bar. This is in macOS Tahoe, but you could search for Menu Bar in any version of System Settings and find the same setting here, automatically hide and show the menu bar. And there are four options. You could have it always hidden. Remember, this means it's hidden. So always in this case means the menu bar is always hidden, as opposed to the opposite of that, which is never hidden. In other words, always visible. So keep that in mind. But you could also have it so that the menu bar is hidden in full screen mode only or in desktop only, the opposite of each other there. So if we switch to never, the menu bar stays the same here in window mode. But if we were to go to full screen mode, say by using Pages here, you could see with that setting, the menu bar is still visible here, even when the pointer isn't near the top of the screen. So either in a desktop space or in a full screen window space, you'll see the menu bar all the time. Now, you may be asking about the menu bar as in literally the bar under the menu. I may wonder why it's hidden. Like right now, looking here, it looks like there's no bar there. I see the menus, I see the buttons, but there's no bar under it. Well, if you want your menu bar to actually be a bar, there's a setting for that. It's in the same place here. It's actually the next setting down. Show menu bar background. If you turn that on, you're always going to see a bar under the menu bar. It's going to be somewhat translucent, so the color is going to reflect the color of your desktop background, in this case, a blue. Now, another way that the menu bar could be missing is it could be missing from a particular display. Like if you have more than one display, you'll only see the menu bar on one display. If you go to Displays here in System Settings, you'll see your displays, and you can see I in fact have two. You're only seeing one here right now. Now, if I click Arrange here, it will allow me to arrange the display so I can move like my second display somewhere else like that. However, notice the menu bar is also represented here, and you could drag that and you could drag it to the display you want. So if you notice the menu bar is on the display you don't want it to be on and you want to move it, this Arrange Displays control here is where you move the menu bar to get it to sit on the display you want. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 3,000 others that support MACMOST through Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. Now also notice here that you can change your resolutions. I've got mine here set to show as a list. You can control click in select list or thumbnails here. You can also select to show all resolutions to see more resolutions here. And if you happen to be using an external third-party display, particularly if it's a TV and not really a computer display, it's very possible to set things up so that your Mac screen actually goes beyond the edges of your TV. It can be done with certain configurations. And in that case, the top and maybe bottom of your screen could be cut off and not visible on the TV. To fix that, what you want to do is change the resolution here. Experiment with these. So if you kind of notice the menu bar is missing, but it looks like the actual top of your screen is missing, matter of fact, you move your pointer up beyond the top and it disappears, then you're going to want to adjust your resolution and get it to fit your TV. Alternatively, your TV may have settings as well to change how it is used as a computer display, and you want to play with those too. How you do that depends on which TV you've got. So you've got to experiment. Now notice here I've got automatically hide and show menu bar set to never. But that doesn't really mean never, because there are situations where you can have no menu bar. One of those situations is when you're playing a game. A lot of games are set up to get rid of the menu bar and take over the entire screen. And that's really just how the game works. The game may have a setting for this or it may not. But if the game's going to take over the whole screen, there's not really much you can do about it. Perhaps look to see if the game can be played in windowed mode. Sometimes that's an option in the settings. And then you could play the game in a window and still see the menu bar. But even if you don't play games, there's another situation where that happens. And that's when playing a Keynote presentation. If you play a Keynote presentation normally, notice the menu bar goes away, even though I set it to never in system settings. That's just how presentation works. It's the same as with games. And you've got control here because you could go to play and switch to play in window. And then when you play, you'll see that you now have the presentation in a window and the menu bar is still there. Better still, you can switch the window to full screen mode. And it acts just like a regular app in full screen mode, meaning that the menu bar is still there at the top. I should point out that there are various reports of third-party apps also causing the menu bar to disappear, particularly if the third-party app actually controls the menu bar. Like it's an extension that allows you to have a lot of buttons on the right side of your screen or somehow changes the menu bar in some other ways. There could be settings there to have the menu bar disappear, or it could just be that app misbehaving. So if you're still having trouble and you've got an extension that controls the menu bar in some way, try disabling it and see if that fixes it. And finally, I should point out that if none of these apply to you, the menu bar is still missing in some situations, you may just want to try a restart. Some app you're using or may have used recently may be misbehaving and may have set the menu bar into some sort of bad mode. So restarting may fix that. So give that a try if none of these other suggestions solve your problem. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. Want to know about every new MACMOST video each week? Sign up for the absolutely free MACMOST email newsletter at macmost.com/newsletter.